Hello, everybody, and welcome to a Theros Beyond Death draft here on the channel. Before I dive in, I want to remind you that if you enjoy the video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe so you don't miss any future uploads. Leave a comment if you have any questions or feedback. I'd love to answer them. But without further ado, let's dive on in. We can start things off with a pretty powerful rare. Mantle of the Wolf, definitely a first pickable card over the best common in the set, Mire's Grasp. I think Mantle of the Wolf is just one of those cards that it's a must answer. It makes any of your cards into a must answer from the opponent, and even when they do answer it, you're left with two wolves. You do have to pick your spot so you don't get blown out by removal in response, but once it's on the creature, the two wolves are coming pretty much no matter what. So definitely the pick here. It works well in a variety of decks. Blue green, red green, white green. What combination of it is? Black green, it's fine there. Definitely better than Hydra's Growth, and then in the commons, Mire's Grasp is definitely better than Warbriar Blessing. Yeah, pretty happy to get this Mantle of the Wolf. Wow. Really? The disrespect to Crow in War. Just passing that. We're going to snap that up, I believe. It's just a super powerful card. There's also some part of me that's telling me to take Dreadful Apathy, because then you can play white-green with Mantle of the Wolf, and then any Heliod's Pilgrim you get is like a tutor for your removal or your Great Mantle. But I've had such great experiences with the Crow in War. It just really dominates a board stall. Taking the creature for a couple turns is oftentimes great. And I actually prioritize Final Flare a pretty decent amount, which is 2 in a red to sack a creature to deal 5. And that card works fantastically well with the Crow in War as well. After that, I think the Reverent Hoplite is a pretty nice pickup to build around, but I think Dreadful Apathy is just a little bit better. More consistent, goes into more of the white decks, but I have built around Reverent Hoplite and had it been quite good, so I think it's definitely worth an early pick in your own drafts. We're just going to take the Crow in War as the best card here. And now, moving on to pick 3, there's not really a ton other than this Chainweb Arachneer. I think Chainweb Arachneer is a little bit better than Loathsome Chimera. Maybe that's debatable. Broken Phallus. Jesus. The usernames on Twitch just get me sometimes. Jeez. I think Chainweb Arachneer versus Loathsome Chimera is quite close. I just know that I've certainly been more afraid of the Chainweb Arachneer when facing green decks, because a lot of my Flyers decks just can't beat a Chainweb Arachneer. The 4/5 that just kills a straight up card is really good. And I think that as long as you have ways to get rid of it so that it can get into the graveyard and start getting escaped, it is quite nice. Loathsome Chimera is really good. I was actually listening to the Limited Resources First Impressions, and they have this as the second best green common after Warbriar Blessing, which is really interesting. I just think Chainweb Arachneer does a lot of things green needs to do, and sometimes green decks can struggle with Flyers, especially green-red, so I think Chainweb Arachneer is a great fit. And now we're moving on to pick 3, and we see the following options here. There is a Hydra's Growth, jumps to mind. It's not as great in green-red, because, again, you don't have hexproof creatures, so you're just opening yourself up for blowouts. But if you're going to be going all in on creatures, this is a good enough card to do it with. Works well with the Chainweb Arachneer, because this naturally comes with 3 counters when it escapes, so putting a 4th counter and the next turn 4 more counters is terrifying. Moss Viper is okay. I think Triumph of Anax is currently underrated. It might actually wheel, but the card's actually quite good in green-red. Like, you put that on your creature that's Mantle of the Wolf, and they're all of a sudden really screwed. Scopeless Warleader can be an okay sack outlet as well. I probably would play one thanks to this Crow in War. But we'll just take the Hydra's Growth for now. Stick to heavy green and see what comes. Boom! That's what I'm talking about. Read-in Signals, taking names, Warden of the Chained. Fantastic pickup here. The only other card that would potentially go in our archetype is Incendiary Oracle. I'm not a huge fan of Hateful Eidolon, but Warden of the Chained is a great pickup here. Goes great with Mantle of the Wolf because it has trample, and you can put Mantle on your other creatures to make them enable this attacking. Really huge fan of this card, and really happy to pick it up over an Oracle. The more auras you have, it gets kind of rough to know how many to play. I'm thinking about Impending Doom, Zach. The thing is I already have 2 auras to put on my creatures that are better than Impending Doom, I think. And I don't have any ways to protect my creatures, so I could just get really blown out. That being said, there's a Moss Viper to consider. There's an Infuriate. I think neither of those are high enough priority, and I could end up with a deck that wants Impending Doom pretty badly. Ooh. Moss Viper sucks. That's a hot take. I think it's better in a more defensive shell, But I've had certain decks where it's just like, I don't have any tokens, and Moss Viper just hits me for 1 every turn, and I'm just like, what do I do? Scophos Maze Warden is a fantastic card. So is Mystic Repeal. I might just take the Scophos Maze Warden so I can get more creatures. I've found myself wanting to prioritize creatures. But Mystic Repeal oftentimes kills a really powerful card for just 1 mana. So that's it's definitely a consideration here. Those 2 cards are definitely the only 2 I would consider. 4s are easy in Gruul. I guess that's true. I could have just a Typhon fill this spot, but I do think Scophos is a good card. And now there's a Nylea's Forerunner. Pretty easy pick. Nothing else is even close here. Late Heliod's Pilgrim, late Omen of the Sun. I think once I started taking Omen of the Sun as one of the top white commons, it really upped my win rate with white. But we're just going to jam Forerunner here. And now there's nothing for us. We're just going to take the Sunmane because it's more likely to pair with our green cards. We could potentially end up in green-white still. Now I think it's close because the Scophos War Leader is really good with the Akroan War, and it triggers this guy, but Stampede Rider is a nice little archetype staple card that works really well with the Mantle of the Wolf and also the Hydra's Growth. I think I'm going to take the Stampede Rider, though I wouldn't mind a Scophos at some point in the draft. Perfect, we got our Scophos. I don't prioritize Infuriate, we can get those when we need them. But I think 1 Scophos is actually actively good in this deck. Yay, we got our Infuriate. I actually like Infuriate in this deck. It's going to be pretty good, I think. We have a decent amount of trample, decent amount of big creatures that they might have to double block. Really gets them good. Okay, moving on to pack 2. There's a Temple of Malice if we wanted to just get a little bit slightly better mana, getting a Scryland, even though we're not playing black. Heroes of the Revel is probably going to be my pick. Just a big card. I've been relatively impressed with the 1/1 as well, as just a card you can sacrifice to other things. I don't think Hero is filler. I think the 4/4 is actually a relevant body, and the 1/1's like a good thing to put like a Hydra's Growth on if you're not against a bounce deck. Things like that. I think having the 4/4 plus a 1/1 is actually okay. Buffing my entire team's not no joke either. It also triggers all my 4 powered cards. Yeah, I think I'm going to take the hero here over the Temple of Malice. And now there is Stone Cold nothing for me. That's unfortunate. Really wish... I guess we have Binding of Titans, which we can take. We might end up with more Escape, and we don't have a single 2-drop. Getting 2-drops has been really hard for me. I guess we're going to take Binding. We can also mill Chain Web. Totally not Riot-y Final Death. I wasn't going to take Final Death anyway. I think we're just going to take Binding of Titans. And now Final Death Flare is perfect pickup for us. Oh, I wasn't going to splash Final Death anyway, DC Sports. Yeah, there's no way I'm splashing in this deck. I'm just going to take Final Flare. And then be very happy with it. We already have this token to sacrifice to it, the things we steal with a Crowan War to sacrifice to it. We can sacrifice just random creatures to it sometimes. We can sacrifice our Chain Web Arachne to get it in the graveyard. Really happy taking a Final Flare here over a Portent and another Forerunner. And now we're just going to grab a 2-drop. Just got to get those 2s, as they say. Nyx Bloatus is just not a playable rare. By the time you have Devotion enough to make this tap for more than 1 mana, you already have enough mana to do all your other stuff as well. We're just going to get a 2-drop. And now, oh gosh. Another Final Flare or a Setessan Training. Probably just going to take Setessan Training. But it's really tricky. I just don't have a ton of creatures. I don't think we're taking Skirmisher, that's for sure. I could also just take a Final Flare. I think Training's pretty good in this deck generally. But I already have a lot of trample. I think the first Final Flare is higher priority, and then the second one goes down a bit in value. Here's a Forerunner. Only real cards in our color. Oread. I don't really want Important because we only have this to sacrifice and this to sacrifice. I think we're just going to take the Oread. I've been pretty impressed with Oread. It's done good work. Not a huge fan of Dream Shaper Shaman. This card has really underwhelmed me. Like, significantly underperformed. Just so expensive. Another Skophos War Leader. We have a lot of 5s, which is not ideal. Ugh. Gosh. I wonder whether... Yeah, I wonder whether there's any 2-drops we've missed out on. Well, we're definitely not taking Nyxborn Colossus. I guess we're just going to take Gift of Strength. I've been actually pretty happy with Gift of Strength. I sometimes struggle against Flyers decks, and Gift can be a good card in that spot. Definitely going to take it over the Traveler's Amulet. I don't think we need 2 Skophoses. Okay, Thaumaturge came back. Moss Viper came back. Thaumaturge is not the worst card. It wears an Impending Doom pretty well, a Hydra's Growth pretty well, Mantle of the Wolf pretty well. I'm probably only going to play 1 Skophos now that I have a Final Flare, because I have 2 ways to sacrifice the creature I take from the Akroan War now. So that's enough. We'll just take the rare because why not? Gotta just build that collection up, as they say. Wow, nobody else takes Skophos War Leader. Good to know. We have 3 copies. We could take a Portent of Betrayal at some point and then just play it with our Skophoses, but that's a little bit risky because it's just kind of a clunky card. I think our deck is pretty good right now, though. I'd like to get this Binding out of here. I just need some 2-drops. Only have 2 of them. It's so hard to get 2-drops in this set. So difficult. Like, I have struggled to get 2-drops. Well, this is tricky. Wow, this is tricky. Jeez. What a pack. Just look, so there's a amazing 2-drop for us. There's a Renata. There's also a Fateful End. So 3 great cards. 3 great cards for us. I'm heavily considering the Renata. I think it's just a very good card. Works well with a lot of the things we're doing. Works well with Hydra's Growth, Chainweb Arachneer. Our curve is like relatively high. But we still don't have a ton of 4-drops. This isn't really a great 4-drop as like a 4. I mean, it's not like a creature 4-drop. Then there's Fateful End. How much removal do we have right now? We have Mystic Repeal and Final Flare as removal options. I feel like I want to take Renata. The thing with Caryatid is it gets much better if you have 4-drops. Because we just don't have 4-drops to ramp into. I think we're just going to get the Renata. And now we can jam a Return to Nature. Like, we go Alyssian Caryatid and then we can't cast a 4-drop because we just don't have 4-drops. Like, neither of these cards is the card we're ramping into. We get to cast our 5-drops a turn sooner, but... yeah, we're just going to take a Return to Nature here pretty easily. It's like a removal spell. Heck yes. Hornbeetle. That's what I like to see. This is a great card for our deck. Really good pickup. And now we can get a Blood Aspirant. I think we take that over Plummet. We already have Chainweb Arachneer and Gift of Strength for anti-flyer stuff. Yeah, I think I like Aspirant as well. We have a decent amount of stuff to sack. I think I would probably play a Portent of Betrayal here. Aspect is my second pick out of this pack. We just need to get 2 drops. Boom! Getting that 2-drop. I actually love Underworld Ragehound in this deck because we don't have a great way to use the graveyard. We have Chainweb Arachneer. But now Binding of Titans is actually a pretty solid 2-drop. Escape Velocity, not a card I'm a huge fan of, but Underworld Ragehound is great. Oh, man. This is tricky. Well, this is a hard pick because all 3 of these cards, I love Skophos, I love Incendiary Oracle, and I love Loathsome Chimera. I think we got to take the Oracle, though, because we need 2 drops. But I would love a Chimera. How many 2 drops do I have? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oracle versus Chimera. Chimera is quite good, as is Skophos. We're going to take Chimera. I like having another 4-powered creature to enable some stuff. Oracle has not been a huge priority for me. Boom, we got another 2-drop over Stampede Rider. Or we could just take another, we could take a 4-drop in the Nihilia's Huntmaster. This is a close pick as well. There's 3 reasonable options. There's a Huntmaster that should wheel from pack 1. Good memory, good memory. I think we're on the Skola Grove Dancer just to get up to 6 2-drops. But Stampede Rider has been pretty good for me as well. Like, it overperforms a lot of the time. I think we already have one, so let's just take a Skola. Like, I like putting Auras on it too, because it already has Trample. Now there's a Binding of Titans over a Thundering Chariot. We have 3 escape creatures, so Binding's not terrible for us. Might not play it, though. Set us in training. Huntmaster, I think, is going to be the pick. But maybe set us in training is just better. We kind of already have a lot of expensive cards. Good job, DC Sports. I think we already have a set us in training, so we'll just take the Nihilea Huntmaster. I like Huntmaster, a good deal. We already have a Wings of Hubris, so we'll get a Pursuit. Another Skophos. Whoa, nice little Aspect of Manticore coming back around. Escape Velocity, not the worst card. If we end up in a matchup where we really need that haste. Okay. So our deck is great. We have a lot of cuts to make, though. I think cut number 1 is Thaumaturge. Cut number 2 is Impending Doom. We have Warden and Hornbeetle. Like, it's not really like an archetype 4-power matter, it's just like stuff that comes up. So we're going to cut those 2 cards. We don't need another Skophos. This curve is looking really good. I think we'll cut Infuriate from the main deck, but it's a great sideboard card. We'll cut Moss Viper. We'll cut Binding of the Titans. Aspect of Manticore. And a Forerunner. Yeah, Stampede Rider too. Good point, Grillsy. I like this. I like main decking 1 Gift of Strength. I've been pretty impressed by it. Then we have Hydra's Growth, Mantle, and set us in training as Auras. I like 1 Skophos just because it works so well with our Akroan War. Also, just a sack outlet is pretty good in this format. And Forerunner is not a card you need too many of. Aspect of Manticore is okay, but I don't think we want it. Binding of Titans is just not really perfect for our deck. Okay, perfect. I like this deck. Sort by color. Unfortunately, it looks like we're going to have to run... Oh, maybe Blood Aspirant isn't what we want to have. We already have the Scophos. This card could just be a bit too clunky. I've had to do decent work, but I think I'm going to cut it. It's just very slow. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 2-drops still. 5 is a good number. We can add one more card. Thanks, Zach. I'll see you later. Could run another Nihilia's Forerunner. We could run a Binding. We could run a Moss Viper. Kind of want to run Aspect or Infuriate. I think we'll run Infuriate. Okie doke, that's going to do it for the deck, and I will see you in... Actually, oh man, I really want to play creatures, because I have cards that care about creatures. This is kind of a creature. We also have a Final Flare. We don't have any Omens, though, so I don't really want to play the Blood Aspirant. I think this card will probably be better. Well, maybe Aspect's better. Yep, let's try it with Aspect. Sort by color. 9/8 in favor of green. Because we do have some red cards to cast early. That's going to do it for the draft, and I will see you in the matches. Before I get to the matches, I want to give a big shout out to all of my patrons over at patreon.com/NicolaiBolas. Thank you so much for your support, and special thanks to my patrons that support at the credits level, Eric S., Stephen W., Brent, and Mr. Martinez. Thank you for your support. I really appreciate it. And if you would like to learn more about the Patreon, you can find that information at patreon.com/NicolaiBolas. Without further ado, let's get to the matches. We do need some help with this hand. Whoa, that's my first time facing this card. Are they milling me or themselves is the question. Definitely doesn't do a good job blocking. Okay. So we are actually off to a great start because Huntmaster can pump up this guy, and then this guy can attack too. I'm really confused. Oh my gosh, really? They're just taking 9. They're milling me, which is just a blatant mistake. Next turn I can Accro in War. Maybe even plus Mystic Repeal. Shoal Kraken, sure. He's crying. Weird game. Opponent did not do anything. So they're a blue-green auras deck. Oh, I mean enchantments deck. So they have some relatively big creatures. I'll answer that later. They'll probably have bounce spells, so that card gets much worse. This card doesn't deal with any of their creatures. Moss Viper could be good. What seems bad? Honestly, nothing seems bad here. This is like this match board. It's like I have to win this for my own sense of honor. We'll keep this. Oh, he's gonna have trample because we're gonna go 2-drop, 3-drop, 4-drop. Whoa, they got the combo again. They've assembled it. And then this guy can start to grow. It's just so confusing. Like, how many of these do they have to have for it to be a threat to me? I'm actually going to play this one first. I want to Mantle of Wolf up this guy, though, so this guy can start growing and I'll have 2 threats. It's only another creature. It is risky to put stuff on Oread, though, because then... Wow. They built a 2-2. That is prime power level right there. Oh no, 2 spells. Feels bad, man. Well, this is the god tier start you always dream of. That was like a beautiful rip off the top. Now I can Mantle of Wolf it and be very happy. Oh. Oh my gosh. The synergy. They're holding up Stern Dismissal. I think I'm just going to go to combat and then I'm going to Oread and set us in draining my Oread. Yeah, eventually this guy's going to be 4-2 at this rate. What can possibly deal with that? I have no idea. It's just too broken. It's like better than Dream Trawler almost. Who knew Sage of Mysteries was such a sick win condition? I feel like if you had 2 Sages, maybe then it would be good. Because then you're milling 4 every enchantment, but still, even then. Even in that world, like they're just milling my escape. We'll pop out our graveyard a little bit. They have milled 6 straight spells, which still doesn't matter even. Oh my gosh. What are they going to fight? Oread down. Holy heck. This is actually hilarious. World's biggest Sage of Mysteries. It's literally just lethal. They have to block one. So now they're going to have to jump. And just like that, they no longer have a creature. This was like a freebie matchup. I'll take it, but it was not like a wild power level slugfest. Boom, we won the match, and I'll see you in the next round. We are on the draw with this hand, and I think it's probably a mulligan. Because not only do we have to draw forests, but then we have to draw spells, and one forest means that we have no other ways to use our mana. We're going to mulligan, and we're going to keep this. And ditch. We do have double green cards and no double red, so we're going to ditch a mountain. This hand is just much better than the last one. It doesn't have a 2-drop, but it's got a good 3-drop into a good 4-drop for our deck's archetype plan. Oh, please give me a 2-drop. Beetle me. Boom! I'm amazing! Yes! Oh my gosh, who knew that you could just get exactly what you wanted every time? Oh my gosh, Beetle hype. So much win. We're going to attack first, because if they have Omen, we would like to Gift of Strength. Wow, this is why early drops are so important in Limited. This game already feels over to me. I think we get this guy out here. It's just so much more pressure. This guy has trample, so. It's weird because this one just says if you control a creature. And now Renata's going to be a 4/4. Sure. Citizen Training just doesn't do what they want it to do right here. They need to get rid of my Nessian Huntmaster. Oh. I think they're just dead. Obviously, I wish I could have got the Renata into play, but I think just killing the Annex while they're a little bit behind is going to pay dividends. I guess I was wrong. Feels bad, man. Oh, gosh. I think we need to go back to the old game plan of I think I'll trade 4/4 for 4/3. Of course, I am way behind because I currently lack spells, but let's see. Think what's our best spell to draw here? Mantle of Wolf. Just give me Mantle of Wolves. Definitely not blocking, because a lot of our best cards are auras. Heroes is a good one. I'll actually attack, because if they have a combat trick, they'll get to use that anyway. But I think they do have a combat trick. Nope, they just jump. Hi, back one, pick one. Or they have an omen. Okay. But now I have a lethal attacker. They have to have a blocker here. They're probably going to scry on upkeep. Oops, that's the wrong chat. They activate Omen of the Forge, sure. Let's see where they scry. We have a 5/5 and a 2/2 here. 5/5s are hard to deal with, especially for just 4 mana. One on top, one on bottom. Sure. Oh, misty eye of the mountain below. We're in a tricky spot here. So basically we can play our own 4/1. And if we attack with both, they can go trade, take it, or chump, take it. Yeah, I like this. I like attacking both, playing our own Chimera. Because then we still have lethal even if they bring it back. Like if they have to top deck an additional cheap threat. And even then, we're just going to be battling out, bringing back Chimera over and over each. Yeah, I'm not going to get rid of my creature that's lethal for your 2 damage. Okay, so they found a creature. We have a lot of outs. So we can put it on this guy. We can trade off, but then I have 2 more lethal threats. So they're exiling the Chimera, but I still get the 2/2/2, so I don't think they realized that part. I now have 3 lethal attackers. That was normally it would be a pretty smart double block though. Boom, got the win. We're dealing with a very similar matchup to our own. The Elysian, the Fairies Band Brawler is good to know about. To help contest that, we're going to take out any like creatures that potentially die to it that are kind of expensive. So most of our guys survive it. They actually all survive it. Gonna bring an Infuriate for a Chainweb Arachneer because they don't have any flyers in red-green. Impending Doom's also probably coming in, along with Moss Viper for a Aspect of Manticore and a... Maybe we only want Impending Doom on the play. That seems better. So we added a Moss Viper and an Infuriate for an Aspect. Seems good. And also, what else did we cut? We added 2 cards, so we had to cut 2 cards. Oh, and also the Chainweb Arachneer, duh. We'll keep this hand. We have our combo. A Crow and War plus Final Flare. There's a pretty decent number of enchantments in green decks. They probably sided in Moss Viper too, which is really funny. Why not double attack? On that one turn, I didn't want to double attack because then they could trade off with both my guys. Oh no. Aha! A 2-drop has been found. The Crone War is actually really good against Moss Viper because it attacks in. No! And it's also really good with a Crone War because you take their Moss Viper and then they have to attack you with their other creatures. And the Moss Vipers can like trade off and they kill themselves and we're definitely not going to Mystic Repeal and Omen of the Forge. Wow. This is amazing. This is like a fantastic draw for us. That Heroes of the Revel is going to do the same thing it did last time. It's going to make us some big threats. Our Crone War is going to kill 3 of their creatures because they're all symmetric. Because why the heck wouldn't they be symmetric? Oh my gosh, this is disgusting. Loathsome Chimera, sure. Okay, so a Crone War is going to one-sided Wrath them. It's going to kill 2 Moss Vipers, a Caryatid. Sure. Oh my gosh. This is just vile. So we take their Loathsome Chimera, and then on the turn where they have to attack with everything, we can block their Incendiary Oracle with our... Oh, the Cetizen Training falls off. That's weird. We can make sure it gets exiled. Okay, what are they killing? Oh, interesting. So Renata's dead. Weird that they kept Chainweb Arachneer in. This is going to be good. So they won't have to attack with the Caryatid, but the Caryatid will be tapped. So it will still kill itself. So this dies, this dies. Yep. Let's buff up. are 3/3. This is an attack for 17. Just like vile. The Crowan War is so powerful. Oh, baby, got the win and we're headed to the finals. Let's go. Can I sack it with the ability on the stack? I know I can bounce it to my hand with the ability on the stack. I have to see. Does the Crowan War the thing that does the damage to them, or does it say each creature deals damage? Maybe I can do it with the ability on the stack. I think I could have done that. You're right. I just don't think it was worth it to do that, because I would rather keep it in case they drop like a 4/4 or something I'd like to kill. Having a 2-drop to play on turn 2 is so good. Give me a Nessian Hornbeetle. I'm not sure if this is the same person I played earlier. I don't think it is. Oh, almost skipped my turn there. Against white-blue having a... I keep almost skipping my turn because I accidentally took off my draw step stop, and that's just an instinct for me. So I'm doing everything on second main phase. Like a idiot, kind of. Sure. Sick curve, I agree. The Warden was a great draw. And now Renata will be a 4-powered creature if we draw a land. Dreadful Apathy. Okay, perfect. So now we have something to sack to Final Flare. Do I have a Unibrow? It depends on the level of my, what's it called? Face care routine? I don't know. Sometimes I do. Okay. So they have a Dreadful Apathy. I kind of just want to play... JTZ is asking the important questions. X gold, my gold, X moldy gold, X. I think I'm just gonna play Setes in training. No attacks. No Dreadful Apathy getting played, eh? I'll walk into whatever counterspell they have here. I found it's wise not to play around counterspells. I'm not going to attack until I have my Gift of Strength up. Good decision. It has paid off. Jesus. Now that's a heck of a card. We do have Final Flare for if they tap out. You have made me into a fish, and I is sad. Okay, so now I have some choices. I can return to nature this thing. I think that's the correct play, because this card is really a valuable one. And then, but then Alseid is a problem, because then it's hard to get rid of Thrix. Definitely playing land. So if I return to nature the Ichthyomorphosis, the problem is I can't kill this thing because they have Alseid up. So I think I just want to put them in a spot where they kind of have to race me, and then I'll make them tap out, and then I can Final Flare them. So I think I'm going to destroy Ichthyomorphosis. Combat. Attack for 7. They'll probably trade the reflection here. And then we can play the Rage Hound, which will have 4 power because of the Warden. I mean, because of the Renata. I doubt they're ever going to tap out again, which makes it harder to Final Flare the Thrix, but I will be able to do it next turn. So I'll essentially be trading 2 for 2 or something. I just have to have both an attacker, and then I can use Gift of Strength and Underworld Rage Hound. So if they're on defense, it will work. But I have to force them to be on defense. Because the way it works is this thing will attack me. I use my Gift of Strength, and then they give it protection in response, or they let it block, and then in response they give protection, and then in response to that I Final Flare. It also leaves me way more open to getting blown out. I know one of their 2 cards is Dreadful Apathy. If you're wondering why I killed the return before combat, it's because I needed this to be out before I could attack with this guy. Like, I'm hitting them for 7 and they're only hitting me for 4, so I win the race very handily. And next turn I bait them really hard with this Rage Hound, because this is like a card that just eats Rage Hound. Yep, we'll be fine with that happening. Does shrink my Renata a little bit, but I have a backup 4-powered creature. Banishing Light, okay. They really don't like Renata, eh? I don't think they're going to attack this turn. They're going to give protection. This would have worked better if they had used their Dreadful Apathy, because then I could have sacrificed my Renata. Yep. Sure. I can get both my creatures into play here. And I still have the Rage Hound in my graveyard. I think I'm winning this game. Thrix is good to know about. Really? Oh, they have the combo? Ouch. So they had another removal spell essentially in their hand. Five power is a good amount. Probably gonna have to trade their Illyrios for it. Which is good because trading a 2/2 for a 2/3 essentially is just great. And I have my Rage Hound, which I can start bringing back. Thirst for Meaning is a good card for them to have, but not that good because they can't really develop their board to protect themselves. To get rid of Birth of Meletus. Sure. It's where I get really wrecked by Staggering Insight. Oh, thank God. Well, that's not good. I need another buff. Give me a buff. That was unfortunate. Not going to bring him back yet. Ouch! Ouch! We were so close. Oh, they get rid of their Birth of Meletus again. Knowing that they have double Birth of Meletus is good. Good info. Triton Wave Rider, eh? I would love my +4/+4 card. I would love my +4/+4 card. I forget what it's called, but it would be great. Aspect of Wolves. Nellia's Forerunner. No. Mantle of Wolf. That's really bad for me. If they have Staggering Insight, which I assume they do, because they're blue-white, put that on here. The game's out of reach, essentially. Nope, just a Dreadful Apathy. Still not great for me. Mantle me up. Mantle. Hey, Mantle, you're so fine. Mantle, Nope. I think so. Yeah, I think I bring back Rage Hound once I have something in my hand. And I might be forced to bring him back next turn. Yep, they exile that. They just don't want this thing to trigger. Yep, so they're going to hit me for 3 again. So I think we have to rely on top decking something, so I think we have to bring back the Rage Hound here. So we hit them for 3. They untap. They play nothing. Attack for everything. We can block here and take 4. Block here and take 6 in either case. So I think we can attack. And now Mantle of the Wolf is a great draw. Yep, they got me. We just drew literally all lands there once we had we played that game really well, I think, and then we just drew all lands and nothing worked. So okay. Pending Doom is definitely terrible. Blood Aspirant's okay, maybe to sacrifice those guys, but they don't have any 1 toughness creatures. Ugh. They still have some enchantments. I think we're just going to play it. Run it back. I mean, our deck is pretty great too. It's just like they drew like 10 removal spells and we drew like 10 spells total. It felt like they had a lot of value in their deck and we just couldn't close the deal by drawing any of our cards that mattered. I would like to play first. This has to be a mulligan. We just don't have any pressure. This is much better. I would love a beetle. Horn beetle would be amazing. That's like the best 2-drop to go with Chimera. Beetle me. Nope. Mantle would be a wolf would be good too. One turn late, beetle. Alas. I already used my 1-time beetle draw. You get unlimited 1-time beetle draws, Necropolo. Beetle is that sick. He just gives you unlimited beetle draw 1-times. Indeed, beetle always comes when you need him. I can trade this for the 3/2 part of it. I don't see a reason to do that. Heliod's Pilgrim here. So they have a Dreadful Apathy to put on something, but what do they want to put it on is the question. I think if my Loathsome Chimera dies, I'm fine. If I put it on here, I don't think I can put it on anything with Dreadful Apathy waiting in the wings. If I put it on here, I can attack with all 3. They can double block my beetle, single block this guy, and then next turn they just kill this thing essentially. Just seems awful. I'll trade this guy for 2 of their things. They also know I have combat tricks. And then I'm just going to Oriad. Jeez. That was great. But do we want to get back Beetle? Or do we want our Mantle to be terrifying? Because they just have infinite chump blocker, so I think we want the Beetle. My hand is stacked. I think I wait for this to be 4 power again. This guy just trades off for no value. This guy could just get double blocked. As I foresaw. If my opponent's not careful, they could I could find a way to use this Beetle and yeah, get some work done. No! They're firing on all cylinders. They just have so many dreadful apathies, I can't believe it. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Jurgosh87, for the follow. I appreciate it. I wonder if they'll just jump block or if they'll go to 2. Yeah, Pilgrims make it super consistent. If they won with the Stars My Guy, the aura falls off, I think. Booyah, we get our 2/2s, let's go! Wolf hype! Okay. Hydra's growth, oh my gosh. They also have Flicker. True. Oh no. So I have currently got 2, 5 power, 3 of which is trample, so I have 6 trample power. I think I put the counters on this guy. I could have gone all out and put him onto the wolf. Made it into a 4-3. Ugh. What? They have another one? Are you kidding me? Oh, ichthyomorphosis. So they're going to ichthyomorphosis this guy. That's their only card in hand. What are the odds? They'll just block there. Ugh. Ugh, ugh, ugh. Any of my creatures are lethal thanks to this gift of strength. Opponent will figure that out, though. I have 3 creatures. They have 5 blockers. Yikes. Yeesh. So if I attack with everything, they'll go block, block, block. What a rip. This person just top decks really well here. That was really unfortunate for me. Alseid is really bad for me. We do have an Underworld Rage Hound. Another card is Ichthyomorphosis. They have Ichthyo. Okay, that card would have been great. Ooh. Oh. Ho hum. Okay, we can get Loathsome Chimera into the graveyard if they go for some exile shenanigans. Let's kill the 2/5, I think. Actually, the 2/5 doesn't matter. Let's kill the guy that gives protection. No, we'll kill the... which do we want to kill? The 2/5 or the 1/1 that gives protection? Kind of afraid of the one that gives protection. So now my Loathsome Chimera can come back. And this guy's about to be terrifying. No! I feel like we're so unlucky with the removal they have. It just like destroys us. It's like complete dominance. No! Oh, that's brutal. Us milling our return from nature was really bad. Also, their deck is got so much enchantment removal. So we have 7 mana. Now we have 5 versus 5. If we attack with all 3, I assume they go block, block, block. Yeah, that's bad for me. But maybe not as bad as they think it is. Okay, that is bad for me. So I go to 1 here. Like, even if I kill the Thrix, it doesn't mean anything. Like, I can kill the Thrix. But then I don't think I can win the actual game. Right now, they go block, 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 block. They just have a block on everything. Yeah, we never had an opening. Yeah, now they draw their land. Gosh darn it. I don't think they drew a land for like 6 turns or something. I think what I had to do was put the +1/+1 and counter thing onto my wolf that had trample. I think that was my only chance of winning. I should be milling myself to protect my life total against this thing. Because each land I mill is an extra turn. Okay. One, two, three, four. Nope. Ugh. Imagine if we'd hit 2 lands, gained 2 life, gone up to 5, lost our 2 life, and then swung back and won. I feel like that was just a really rough matchup, and also they drew better than us. Once we got into kind of relative top deck mode, I don't think they drew a land for like 8 turns. At least it didn't look like they drew a land for like 8 turns. I think they drew like Thirstrom Meanings into Heliod's Pilgrim, into Thirstrom Meaning, into Thrix. It was like they just never whiffed, so really hard to win that type of match. Anyway, that is going to do it for this draft video. Our deck was... Yeah, but they also drew way more cards, Miss Silent Hill. They drew like 30 more cards than us. I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, that is going to do it for this draft video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did make it all the way to the end, in the comment section down below, leave a hashtag red-green to let me know you made it all the way till the end. If you did enjoy it, remember to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment if you have any questions. That's going to do it. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you next time. Oh my gosh, I forgot to hit the record button on that final round. Rats.